In this calculation, it states, calculate how much cobalt-2 chloride in grams would be created if 17.5 milliliters of 0.705 molar sodium chloride and 275 mils of 0.345 molar cobalt-2 nitrate were used in the following balanced equation below. So we are looking for the cobalt chloride in grams because this is a precipitation reaction. Now, this is a precipitation reaction where we are going to use the molarities to figure out the different quantities. But because we know that we have some cobalt nitrate and some sodium chloride, this is also a limiting reactant problem. So we want to make sure that we identify the limiting reactant in order to figure this out. So first, because we have our two, a volume and a molarity, we can actually figure out the moles of cobalt nitrate pretty easily, as well as sodium chloride. So we'll start with cobalt nitrate. So we're going to take the molarity of cobalt nitrate, which is 0.345 moles in 1 liter, and multiply that by 0.275 liters. And that gives us that we have 0.09488 moles of cobalt nitrate. And so for the sodium chloride, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take our 0.750 molar and multiply that by the volume in liters, and that's going to give me 0.1313 moles. Now, there's two things you might be thinking. One, where did this moles over 1 liter thing come from that you see right here? I just took the large M unit and split it out into moles over liters so that I could make sure that the right units were canceled. But number two, your thought might be, this is great. The cobalt nitrate is probably the limiting reactant because it has less. But we need to remember our stoichiometric coefficients. Those are our big numbers that we see here. So I'm going to solve this by converting both reactants to the other reactant. Alternatively, in this calculation, you could just convert each reactant to product and solve for that. So from here, I'm going to say that there's 1 mole of cobalt nitrate for every 2 moles of sodium chloride, and therefore I need 0.18976 moles of sodium chloride. And in fact, we have less than that, so that means that the sodium chloride is going to be our limiting reactant. But if you had chosen to look at that one first, you would have divided by 2 moles for every 1 mole, and that would give you 0.6565 moles. And you actually have, no, that's not right, 0.06565 moles. And so you have more than that. So that tells us that sodium chloride is going to be our limiting reactant. So I'm going to take my moles of sodium chloride, 1313 moles of NaCl. I'm going to use the stoichiometric coefficients of 2 moles of sodium chloride for every 1 mole of cobalt chloride. And in 1 mole of cobalt chloride, there are 129.84 grams in 1 mole. And so that gives me 8.52 grams of cobalt chloride could be produced if this reaction goes to completion.